What's up, man? Like I said, I'm gonna be promoting this podcast that me and a couple of my guys, Zone, Botanologist, and Rollo, we're gonna try to come out with a podcast. We're working on things right now behind the scenes, man. We're gonna get this platform started, but I want to talk about Deontay Wilder and his legacy chase. Now, a lot of people are up in arms about the Zone deal. Like I said, I voiced my opinion on the Zone deal a couple times. Like I said, um, the $100 million offer was reported for 20 for Brazil, 40 for two Anthony Joshua fights. And Wilder entertained the offer. I guess they had a meeting with the Zone head people, and he turned it down. Now my stance on it has been this: if he's going to get a better offer from Showtime and Fox, then so be it. I have no problem with it. Maybe he just used the Zone as leverage. You know what I'm saying, to get that deal. But I want to talk about his legacy chase, and Deontay Wilder always talking about his legacy. And a lot of times Deontay Wilder will say it's not about the money. He has enough money. He has enough business ventures going on out there. He just want legacy. Now, I know that doesn't translate that he's gonna fight Anthony Joshua for nothing, for peanuts. I understand that. That we you know what I'm saying, we have to be realists. But I think Wilder, sometimes when you really want something, you have to give a little to get more down the line. And I think Wilder needs to take that approach. If the Zone indeed was going to offer him $40 million each for Anthony Joshua, and to me the prize is Anthony Joshua. Now look, you want the money, and I can't say how much money another fighter can fight for. That's his business. But my thing is this: if they offering you a reasonable amount, which is $40 million for each fight, if that was true, if they offering you a reasonable amount of money, you just want to get your hands on Anthony Joshua. Now, if you got a reasonable amount of money, the next step is being undisputed. And both of you guys are one fight from being undisputed. Deontay Wilder has to look at himself and say, you know what? I'm going to take a little haircut. Once I beat this guy 2 times, because that's what it's going to take to beat him 2 times, because it's a rematch clause. Unless you go in there and you beat him up so bad and you knock him out, he just don't want to fight you no more. Okay, that's different. But once I beat this guy, then every fighter that comes to me will have to negotiate on my terms, because I'm the undisputed champion, undefeated undisputed champion, who just knocked off one of the better heavyweights, you know what I'm saying, in my era, which is Anthony Joshua. Because sometimes, look, Mayweather had to do it with Pacquiao. I mean, not with Pacquiao. Mayweather had to do it with Oscar De La Hoya. Trinidad had to do it. Well, Oscar De La Hoya was the cash cow. Everybody that fought Oscar De La Hoya had to take a haircut. Trinidad went in there and beat him. Shane Mosley went in there and beat him. Trinidad became pound for pound. Shane Mosley became pound for pound. Mayweather went to go went in there and beat De La Hoya and became this huge megastar. Because I keep telling people, Mayweather would not have been a huge megastar if it wasn't for that De La Hoya fight. I'm trying to tell y'all right now. Mayweather was considered a great fighter. He was considered a pound for pound fighter, but he did not draw. He did not draw a crowd, and that De La Hoya fight did a lot for his legacy, for his career. Same as Pacquiao. Pacquiao would not have been as big as he was if he didn't stop De La Hoya. He was this little guy coming up in weight, beating all the guys, all of the great featherweights like Morales, Barrera, having those great fights with Marquez, beating David Diaz, knocked him out on his face, and undefeated David Diaz, I believe, too. And then he came up in weight and sparked out De La Hoya, stopped him. A lot of people thought, including me, thought De La Hoya was picking on a little guy. He was going to beat Pacquiao easy. Not easy, but beat him. And, he did that. So that did a lot for his career. So sometimes you have to get away from your emotions, because, like I told people, earlier Deontay Wilder, he wasn't this emotional. Now he's like real emotional guy. Like everything is top end emotions and taking off his glasses and giving people these crazy looks. You know what I'm saying? Like, he needs to calm down, because the Fury fight showed me why Deontay Wilder needed to take a step back and calm down. He went into that fight and just threw away his game plan because he was so emotionally wanted to knock out Fury so bad that he was trying to knock the man out. And Fury seen that. If Deontay Wilder would have went in there, he said he had a great game plan. If he'd have went in there with his game plan, maybe he would have came out the fight and knocked Fury out and won the fight and moved on. But yet he got into a fight with Fury, and yes, he knocked Fury down twice, but you cannot win a boxing match with knocking a guy down twice. It's 12-round fight. In a street fight, Deontay Wilder won easily. But in a boxing match, he lost on points, in my opinion. Now, officially on black and white, it was a draw, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just my opinion that I thought Deontay Wilder lost the fight. But he needs to, because when he fight Joshua, if people think that the Brazil, now I know he had that little thing with Brazil, and he got to be careful in this fight too, because he could be fighting off emotion and try to go in there and knock that man head off, and you know it can go the other way. But if people think that he's going to be emotional when he fight Brazil, it's going to be times 10 when he fight AJ, because all of the hardcore fans on either side are going to be hyping this fight up, and these fighters already admit that they look at social media and they read all this stuff and they listen to videos. They're going to be hearing all this stuff about, man, you got to beat AJ, you got to do this, AJ is this, he's that, he's a pussy, he's scared, he's this, he that. And Wilder go in there, throw away the game plan again, and try to knock AJ head off. Because a lot of people say he's going to run through AJ, which I don't believe. I'm picking Wilder to win the fight, but by no means I'm gonna think that man gonna go in there and run through that man. It's just not gonna happen. Top level fighters very seldom run through each other. See, that's how I know that some people do not watch boxing a whole lot. Because if you've seen boxing, if you've been around boxing and you just didn't come around boxing over the last 5 years, or when Mayweather, Mayweather's second part of his career after De La Hoya. If you've been around boxing for a while, you know that top level fighters just don't run through each other. You know what I'm saying? It happens, but it doesn't happen a lot, because they're top level fighters for a reason. You know what I'm saying? They consider, and they've shown over time that they're top level fighters. So, but like I said, it's always a path to make a fight. It all depends on what you're willing to give up and what you're willing to sacrifice. It's always a path to make a fight. Like when Wilder say, oh, and AJ say it's hard to make the fight. No, it's not hard to make the fight. Because if Wilder called up Joshua team right now and said, hey, I'll take a haircut. You can have most of what you want in the negotiations. Let's just get the fight done. The fight will get done. Same thing with AJ. The fight will get done. Like Earl Spence say he can't fight Terrence Crawford right now because of the promotional things and all this and the advisors and the television. No. If Earl Spence or either Terrence Crawford relinquish some power to one another, depending on who wants it bad enough, the fight can happen. The fight can happen. The fight is always a path to make the fight. It's just, what are you willing to sacrifice? A lot of these fights are not made because neither side want to sacrifice anything. And you have to sacrifice something to get the bigger prize, which is to get the guy in the ring and you can put hands on him. You can put hands on him. You can, if he got the best, if you gave him the most of the negotiation, guess what? You can take it out his ass in the ring. And then the next fight, guess what? You get, with no crumbs and no argument, you get what you want in negotiations. And that sometimes you have to do that, man. Like I said before, you can't always have all of all. Sometimes you have to take half of it, and then down the road get the other half. But when they tell us boxing supporters or boxing hardcore boxing fans, whatever you want to call yourself, that the fight can't be made, yes, it can be made. Yes, it can. They're lying. It can be made. The fight can be made. Who's going to take the haircut? Because unless we're talking about 50-50, no one wants to take the haircut. Now, my thing has always been 50-50. Let's two top level fighters. Let's let the fight happen. That's not reality in most cases. Anthony Joshua is coming to the table with three titles. Wilder has one. If Wilder had 3 titles and Anthony Joshua had 1 title, guess what the hardcore Wilder people will be saying? Man, Wilder got 3 titles. How in the world can you have this and that, or this much money, or this, that in negotiations, and Wilder got 3 titles? Because that's the same thing that Joshua people were saying right now about Joshua. They are saying Joshua got 3 titles. Wilder, you only got 1. Why should Joshua give you even half of what you want in the negotiation? And that's my thing. Joshua got 3 belts. Joshua should get probably the lion's share of the money. And then in a rematch, Wilder can get the lion's share of the money, because guess what? If Wilder wins, he'll be undisputed. He have all the titles. You have to think like that sometimes. But since you got these hardcore fans on either side, these over-the-top fans, oh, Wilder, don't take that money. That's slave money. $100 million is slave money. Okay, man. Okay. First of all, use things in the right context. Slaves didn't get paid. So how's that slave money? Slaves got paid nothing. Slaves did not get paid anything. So for people to say that slave money, $100 million is slave money, is ridiculous. Now you can support your thoughts and your opinions, but when you go over the top and say, oh man, that's slave money and this and that, come on, man, stop it, man. So I don't understand why the supporters, the people that want to see the fight, put up just as many barriers up to the fight than the fighters, and allow the fighters to accept the barriers. So now we don't get the fight. If the boxing supporters will just say, hey man, let's everybody just call for the fight. I don't care about AJ finances. I don't care about Wilder finances. And that's another thing. Why y'all care about what they get their finances? Who cares? I just want to see the fight. I don't care about their finances. I don't care about who get paid this, who get paid that, or you don't want Wilder to get paid. I don't care. That's why Wilder got advisors around him, people around him to help him with that. I don't care if Wilder gets this much money or that much money. I want to see 2 warriors get in the ring and do what they do. That's it. I don't want to see the soap opera on the side. Now, if y'all already signed the fight, and then we get a soap opera, we're going to talk about it, all this stuff, and we want to talk about who's going to win the fight, that's fine. I'm all with that. Because I know in the end, the fight is going to happen. The guy's going to get in the ring. But I don't want to talk about the whole soap opera, the whole thing, and ain't no contracts being signed. Oh, why he not going to his fight? Why he not getting in the ring after he fight and all this stupid stuff, man? It don't mean anything. What if he go and get in the ring after what if Joshua go in the ring after Wilder beat Brazil, and then the fight still don't happen for 2 more years? Come on, man. I don't want to see huffing and puffing. I don't want to see after school 2:30 fights, supposedly be a fight, and two people just talking to each other face for 20-30 minutes and the fight never happens. Come on, man. Stop it. These are 2 grown men. These are 2 supposedly warriors. Let's see them be warriors. Let's stop with this whole boxing community thing has become a soap opera, man. That's why I'm finna start a podcast and talk about all sports. I'm not finna just limit myself just talk about boxing. I already talk about all sports on my channel anyway, but I don't see how you just sit up and just talk about boxing and nothing is moving. At least in the UFC, they get about 99% of the fights they want to see. In boxing, you'll be lucky if you get 20% of the fights you want to see. 20% of the fights that you actually calling for. And then people say, oh, well, because Dana White, he runs everything. So these guys, these promoters can get together. These fighters, especially at the top, they can go to these promoters and tell these promoters, that's the guy I want. Period. Make the fight happen. Period. Whatever you have to do, get in the room and make the fight happen. Period, point blank. So the onus should be more on the fighters than, oh man, Eddie Hearn is a liar. Who cares about Eddie Hearn? Who cares about Eddie Hearn being a liar? Who cares about Shelly Finkel's being a liar? Who cares about Don King and all these other promoters, Bob Aaron? Who cares about them being liars? The onus is on the fighters, man. The fights are not happening because the fighters don't want the fight happen. The fighters are not making enough effort to make the fight. Period, man. Not only does AJ has the most belts, he brings the most revenue. Wilder has never earned. Now, like I said, I understand what you're saying. Now, the first part, I like what you said. AJ got the most belts. You should have stopped it at that because AJ got the most belts, so that means AJ should control, the negotiations. Period. You know what I'm saying? When you do things and you do something better than somebody else, you should be rewarded a little bit more than that guy that's trying to get what you got. In my opinion. Now, I don't care about who generated the most revenue and all. I mean, like, it's important, but it's not important to me. I just want to see the fight. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see the fight. I think Wilder doesn't like Joshua or her personality. That's why he is being so. Man, what Wilder need to understand is it's not personal, man. It's just business. It's not personal. You know what I'm saying? He can get personal with Joshua when they get in the ring and they start punching each other in the face. That's when it's personal. The negotiation part, that's just business. Take out your frustrations in the ring, man, because boxing is a unique sport to where if you don't like nobody and you got a chance to fight them, you can beat them up and then you won't go to jail. That's why boxing is